If it's worth doing, it's worth doing right. Hello everyone, if you are new here, my name is Adrian of Ligeia Resurrected, and I'm going to be doing something a little different than I usually do today. So you guys know me for my Absinthe reviews and my reviews on Gothic literature, and for me being an opera singer, which is great. I love my following, it's fantastic. You guys are so open-minded and intelligent, and I love it. Now, today is going to be a bit of a departure. I'm going to be reacting to BuzzFeed's video, Americans Drink Absinthe for the First Time, and providing you with some busting of misconceptions, because that's what I'm good at. Before we get started though, I do need to prepare my glass of absinthe here so I can enjoy it along with those in the video. So let's do it. And those of you wondering what I'm drinking today, it is Lucid Absinthe Superior, so that's what I'm drinking. This is the first brand of absinthe that was allowed in the United States after the 2007 ban was lifted. So yeah, pretty awesome stuff. And that was made in the Combier distillery in France. Super cool. Super authentic too. It just really takes me back every single time when I have a glass of absinthe. It just makes me so happy, so nostalgic, and so relaxed. And it's so great. Alright guys, let's call that good. Santé. And if you guys are wondering why I'm qualified to make this video, I've been drinking absinthe for 3 years. I've had the pleasure of tasting a wide variety of absinthes, and I'm knowledgeable of absinthe's history as well as its production. So I feel like, you know, I'm qualified to react. Yeah. And just in case you guys are wondering, when you go to search for absinthe on YouTube, this BuzzFeed's video, Americans Try Absinthe for the First Time, is the third one that pops up, right after Irish people try absinthe for the first time and understanding absinthe. And the number of views that this BuzzFeed video has is 13 million. Alright, let's get into it.
Is this legal? Yeah, whatever.
Already off the bat, it is just cringy. Is this legal? Well, if you paid attention to the laws, yes, it is. It's been legal since, well, it's been legal in the United States since 2007, so. Oh, I just love their little quote here. So yes, they got that part right, that it was made available and accessible in the United States in 2007. However, the way that they stated absinthe was at once considered or claimed to be hallucinogenic and modern absinthe has not been considered so, that's not necessarily complete information. So the reason why absinthe got a reputation for being hallucinogenic was because the wine industry in France was almost completely wiped out by a parasitic aphid. And the wine industry had a really hard time producing wine, and there wasn't very much produced, of course. So as a substitute, absinthe came into the picture. So high quality absinthe that was made properly with high quality alcohol and everything like that was not poisonous, toxic, or hallucinogenic in any form whatsoever. However, as absinthe became more and more popular, people were making really cheap knockoffs of the drink that were highly, highly toxic. Okay? And the reason why they were highly toxic is because they were using an inferior brand of alcohol in order to make it, and on top of that they were adding copper sulfate into it, which gives the absinthe a really nice bright green color, but it's also highly toxic. So when you combine the high alcohol content plus the fact that you're putting in poison, of course people are going to get sick and hallucinate and do all kinds of crazy shit when they're not feeling well from bad alcohol and literal poison. Okay, so genuine absinthe that was made in the 19th century that was high quality did not have those effects. Let's make that very clear right now.
I think we're gonna hallucinate and see fairies.
This fairy has a big old butt.
Get him with those curves.
This looks like an erotic potion.
Do mine's a little more lemony?
Peppermint. Black licorice.
See, that's why I thought it was Jaeger.
So let's talk about the absinthe brands that they are using there. One of them I have reviewed on my channel. It's called St. George. And it's very good. It's produced here in the United States. So the other one that they're showing here in the blue bottle is a white absinthe, clandestine absinthe, which is a Swiss type of absinthe, which is white, or absinthe blanche. And this is made in Switzerland, and it is 53% alcohol. And, you know, obviously it's white, so it's going to have a white cloud when it goes through the process of doing the louche. And now they're going to move on to the process.
We're supposed to pour the absinthe up to a bubble.
Let's put a sugar cube each.
When
This is like witchcraft.
maybe one a little over the bubble, but
Yeah, you know, it's
know.
a Tuesday.
We open this tab onto the sugar cube.
Let the games begin.
Before they even start pouring the water, they almost had it right for the right proportion to pour in these very specially designed reservoir glasses. You probably noticed in the very beginning that I poured it up to here. And this is about 1.5 ounces of absinthe, pure absinthe, no water yet. And so that's about the proper proportion that you want for your glass of absinthe, and most absinthe glasses are designed to measure out that ounce to 1.5 ounces. So then you're going to fill the rest of it, about 3 to 5 parts of ice cold water and maybe a sugar cube if you're so inclined. So in the video they poured it up to here, which is a little bit short of the 1.5 ounce mark that you're supposed to do up here. And yes, these are the exact same glasses that they are using in the video. It's called a reservoir glass, and it has cuts, and it's really cool, and it's beautiful, and definitely made in France. Alright, carrying on.
Oh, that's adorable.
What a beautiful beverage machine.
Can I like touch it?
The Europeans are classier at drinking than we are.
You got that right.
bloop, 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 bloop.
The equivalent of this for us is just like shotgunning a beer.
Imagine you're like in another country. Meet me for absinthe. Watch the water drip. Talk about Sunday.
It's putting me in a relaxed state.
Kind of makes me have to pee a little.
Yeah, got that heavy flow.
You got that heavy flow.
Ew, mine's so milky.
Mine looks like lemonade.
Alka-Seltzer.
A cloud.
I thought to the rim. That's how I like my drinks. Fill it to the rim, honey.
I want to take this to a picnic and enjoy it with someone I love.
I think it's cool that there's like this intricate drinking system.
Yeah, so much
I-
decorum.
Should we talk about politics or something that's going on in the world?
This looks a lot like semen.
Mine looks like pee.
There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Semen and pee. That's what absinthe looks like to the average American. Okay then. Now one thing I will praise BuzzFeed on thus far is that they are actually using the proper process for preparing it in the traditional fashion. There you have the fountain that has the ice cold water, they have the sugar cubes, they have the absinthe spoons. Only thing I object to as far as the preparation is concerned is that they didn't quite pour enough in the glass before they actually diluted it. But that's just me, okay?
Cheers.
Cheers to 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Oh, I like that.
That is very pleasant.
I think I just grew chest hair.
Oh my god, but I have work to do.
Yeah, this is kind of scary because it's so good.
Tastes like a slightly licorice iced tea.
It's like spa water.
You're chugging like a perfume.
Where's the fairy?
Do trippy trade.
You're saying trippy trade because it's gonna make us trip.
It's not going to make you trip, you idiots! Ah! Ils sont très bêtes. Yes, they did describe the taste accurately. I would describe it to someone who has not tasted absinthe before as an herby, slightly licoricey iced tea if you're drinking one that is not too heavy on the anise, like one that's perfectly balanced, such as Lucid. You know, it's great. And I like what that blonde chick said about taking it to a picnic and sharing it with someone she loves, because often Kenny and I have indulged in drinking absinthe together, and it's fantastic. It's a wonderful romantic experience. Really is. And again, I'm sorry for rolling my eyes, but fuck, seriously? Them carrying on about how it's going to make them trip balls and, oh my god, where's the fairy? Ugh, just... So they're already setting themselves up for the placebo effect, but I'm going to be getting to that in just a moment.
Uh-oh. Look at her. She's drunk already.
I'm not.
Let me know when you guys start feeling it.
Am I gonna trip balls?
But there's a fairy right there. That's gonna be us, Chris, in like 10 minutes.
This means I'm gonna go back to work just like, party over here, bitch. What?
Thing is, both of us have pretty high alcohol tolerances. Whoa!
I am starting to feel it, yeah.
I think that this is here.
A straw is just a urethra.
I'm in another realm.
I'm starting to feel a little bit whimsical.
When did that sneak up? And I'm drooling. I have cotton mouth right now, too. What is happening?
Kind of feel it forward in my face.
And my hands feel different.
It makes me feel nice, though.
Oh, your face looks so soft right now.
I know.
Can't open his eyes.
No, what is happening to my eyes right now? My eyes are so small.
My editing is gonna go really well. I'm just gonna
I
kill
kind of
this.
feel
like
high energy, though.
Oh.
How do you feel?
I'm just concerned about my eyes being like this permanently.
Light is... Do you not feel like the light
No, yeah.
is like...
I started looking at that one.
I feel
it's
very like photosensitive right now.
I've literally been looking at this one spot in the room this entire filming.
Can you like not look people in the eyes right now?
No.
Try and look at me without laughing.
I
Ready?
can't.
I know that I seem stressed, but I'm really a happy girl, and I love everybody.
Me too.
Also, can we talk about this glass?
Oh, this glass.
Oh, this glass.
Dear Lord, it is exquisite.
Shana Paul, Somigo then.
Going up.
on a Tuesday.
Please don't drink. No, don't drink it straight. No.
Hey, this chiclet's gotta go down. This one, it's just like a ball hanging there. Go down.
She's talking to the water droplet.
Man, this shit's crazy. It was illegal to produce, but he did it anyway.
I feel like I've discovered my reflection for the first time. Like I looked in the mirror and I saw who I really was, but there's no mirror. It's just alcohol.
Okay, so them reacting to how the absinthe is making them feel is really, really cringy. Now, a moment ago, I did talk about the placebo effect. I'm going to get more into that. Okay, so I'm going to look up the exact definition of placebo effect for those of you who are not familiar. Okay, so placebo effect, a beneficial effect produced by a placebo drug or treatment that cannot be attributed to the properties of the placebo itself and must therefore be due to the patient's belief in that treatment. So yes, placebo effect is often applied to those who are, testing out medicine, or, lots of psychological experiments have been done in regard to the placebo effect. And it's definitely taking place here in this video by BuzzFeed. Almost all of the participants in this video went into the tasting of this absinthe expecting to be high or hallucinate or trip. Literally, I heard them mention tripping balls like 3 times and hallucinating like twice, and oh my god, we're gonna see a fairy like 2 or 3 times, okay? And so going into it and not necessarily being informed about how the absinthe is going to be affecting them, they are using their misconception about the effects of absinthe to kind of set them up for how the alcohol is going to affect them later. Now, that being said, because absinthe has typically a pretty high alcohol content, they were definitely getting hit by the feeling of the alcohol because, very high alcohol content. Lucid that I'm drinking right now is 63% alcohol. Not very high based on the kind of absinthe percentage that I'm used to, which is anywhere from 65 to 70%. That's what I'm used to. So for the average person who doesn't typically have a drink that is that high of a percentage of alcohol, they're not going to be used to it, and they're going to react. The thing with the placebo effect and how it plays into how the alcohol affects them, going into it expecting to hallucinate, get high, or trip balls, when the alcohol begins to affect them, that's how their brain tricks them into thinking. That's why they're giggling, that's why they're carrying on, that's why they're, not being able to focus. One thing that one of the participants did mention, he says, oh, I feel photosensitive. That's totally accurate to how absinthe does make you feel. Now, combined with the very high alcohol content that absinthe does have, the herbs that are used to make it produce a kind of stimulant effect. Someone else even mentioned, oh, I feel really high energy. Yeah. Yes, You're going to feel clear-headed, but you're going to feel nice and buzzed and relaxed. It's pretty cool. That's one of the reasons why I like drinking it, and that's why this drink was so popular among artists and bohemians and writers and poets back in the 19th century, because it kept them relaxed, still clear-headed enough to do their work, which is pretty cool. And being a musician myself, that's another thing that I like about it. And so yeah, you'll notice that people are acting like they're high because that's how they were expecting it to affect them. Placebo!
Immediately, I feel like I took 3 shots.
A whole night out in 5 minutes. What is that science?
I want to do this again. I'm like kind of disappointed it's 3 o'clock on a Tuesday.
Drive safe and be responsible.
Yeah, and make sure that you shave your pubes if you're gonna drink this.
Yeah, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you shave your pubes before you drink absinthe. Nice. Good tip.
It's crazy to me to think that people drink this as like the regular alcohol in other countries. You people are crazy, but correct. You know when you start like looking at someone and you start to look like through them? I'm like looking through the camera like at the people watching this on the internet. Like I can see you, I can hear you.
Okay, so final thoughts. So like I said, they were expecting to get high and hallucinate off of this stuff, and they didn't. And before I hear any of you talking about how real absinthe is not legal in the United States, it is. So absinthe is allowed to be imported and distributed and made here in the United States, provided that it has less than 10 parts per million of thujone, which is the active ingredient in wormwood, which is used to make absinthe, duh. 10 parts per million of thujone is a very small trace amount of the thujone, and you need to get a lot of wormwood content in order to produce that much. And that same standard of having less than 10 parts per million of thujone content in a bottle or a batch of absinthe that is being made fits the standards of pre-ban absinthe in France, Switzerland, and the United States before the ban was implemented in 1912. So yes, the absinthe that you can get in the United States that is genuinely labeled as absinthe is legal, and it's genuine. If it did not have any wormwood in it whatsoever, they could not put it on the shelves and sell it as absinthe. Take it up with the FDA, baby. So guys, I hope you enjoyed this reaction video to BuzzFeed's Americans Drink Absinthe for the first time. And I hope you found it educational, because I am all about properly educating people about absinthe, how it's made, the history of it, and how it affects you. Because I am tired of people being ignorant about it. I really am. So if you guys are interested in getting some absinthe and absinthe accessories, so if you are in the United States, I would highly recommend checking out maisonabsinthe.com, which is a wonderful absinthe store that is based in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, and they have absinthe glasses that are made in France, which is fantastic, absinthe spoons, and they even have reproductions of absinthe spoons that were made in the 19th century. Pretty cool. And they also have some antique absinthe spoons, but those cost a pretty penny, okay? And they have a wide variety of absinthes for you to choose from. And the best part about Maison Absinthe is that they always have some kind of sample size available for most of the absinthe that they have on their site. That's pretty awesome. I love it. So if you want to give it a try but you don't want to invest in a full bottle just in case you don't like it, you can definitely get sample sizes on Maison Absinthe, and it's great. And they're all genuine, okay? So if you are based in Europe, where I would recommend that you get your absinthe and absinthe accessories is Alandia. Here they are, right here. They are an absinthe company based in Germany, and everything's pretty high quality. If you live within Europe, the shipping is not going to kick you in the ass. You can get glasses, you can get antiques, you can get absinthe fountains, you can get sugar cubes, you can get spoons. Pretty great. They have a wide variety of everything for each category that I just listed off. And definitely they have absinthe. It's pretty great. They have a wide variety of absinthe that is made in Eastern Europe, Western Europe, France, Switzerland. They even have American absinthe. Fantastic. So guys, I highly recommend that you check those out, and I also highly recommend that you look into the history of absinthe because it's really fascinating how something so fun and harmless got such a bad reputation. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope that you learned something from it. I really enjoyed making it. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you guys later. Bye!